Hey guys, how's it going? It's Molly. I'm here today to do a foundation wear test of the new Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation. I recently picked this up and then kind of forgot that I had it, so it's been sitting in my in a box in my bedroom for like a month. So no, it hasn't been that long. It's been like a couple weeks, but at any rate, it's time to use it. So that is the foundation that I have on today. If you are curious about this, you should totally tune in. I am going to demo it for you guys, and then I will be doing a check-in at the end of the night to tell you how it wore, because this is one where you don't set it with powder. That's what they say. So we're not going to set it with powder. I don't know why I'm saying we. So I'm not going to set it with powder, and we're going to see what happens, because that is something that I never do. I always set my foundation with powder, always, because I feel like it just helps other products apply better on top, like my blush and bronzer and highlight. But I applied products on top this time, and it ended up being just fine. Don't pay any mind to the fact that I have like inverse raccoon eyes, because my concealer is far too light for my under eyes. But at any rate, so yeah, if you guys are curious about this foundation, then you should just keep watching. I think this is probably going to be a pretty short video, so I'm like sitting here trying to drag it out, but I won't do that. Okay, anyway, let's get started. Okay, so I have the foundation here. That the box says that it's vegan, cruelty-free, alcohol-free, clinically tested, dermatologist tested, ophthalmologist tested, non-comedogenic, suitable for sensitive skin, long wearing, and there is no flashback, which is awesome. It's supposed to be a medium coverage foundation with a luminous natural finish. It's a luminous weird. And then I've got my computer in front of me. I'm looking at the Ulta website, and I'm just going to summarize or paraphrase the details section, because it's pretty lengthy. Let's see. It says that it's water resistant, creates a luminous natural finish, delivers long wearing medium coverage, but still feels lightweight, but still feels so lightweight and looks ultra fresh. It says there's no need to set with powder, so I won't set with powder today. We'll see how that goes. Available in many complete natural shades. It says that it blurs any imperfection, including discoloration and unevenness, without caking or masking the skin's natural radiance. It leaves the skin with a perfect looking complexion that is free of flashback or oxidation, which is awesome. Suitable for all skin types, including sensitive skin. So let's give it a shot. So I am not going to be using setting powder or primer. This is truly a foundation review. So we want to eliminate as many variables as possible and truly see how this foundation performs on its own. If I didn't mention yet, I got the shade 210N. I have no idea if it's a good shade match. I really wish that I had my hair tie, but I don't know where it is, so I don't. So it is a pump container, looks like this. I'm just going to, it might come out. Oh, there you are, hello. We're gonna start with one pump and see what we think. This might be a little too dark for me. No, it's fine. And I'm just going to be using my sponge. I don't ever use brushes. I do know that if I were to use a brush, it would go on heavier. Not heavier, but the coverage would be better, because the sponge shears things out. But I like that, so. Charlie. I'm going to turn my ring light up a little bit. There, I feel like you guys can see me a little bit better now. And I can see myself better. Okay, so this is one pump. Not noticing a whole lot of anything. So I am going to use a second pump. paying closer attention to like the center of my face.
Oh, shoot.
I'm gonna take it down to my neck a little bit because the shade match is not great. It's more yellow than I would have thought a neutral undertone foundation would be. That's a big difference. That's with my ring light. I mean, you can tell how big of a difference that is. Oh, I'm not going to say anything yet. Okay, so that's 2 pumps. I mean, that's typically what I would be doing, is about 2 pumps of pretty much any foundation. There's a few that I can get away with doing 1 pump, but 2 is pretty typical. It definitely is like a luminous finish, which I like. Okay, so yeah, no powder, no primer. I'm going to pop off, do the rest of my base. I will be back in just a little bit to kind of show you guys how other products applied on top of this, and we will go from there. Okay, and I'll be back. Okay, so this is my full face. I was pleasantly surprised by how well things applied on top of this foundation, even though I didn't set it with powder. I was really kind of concerned that things were gonna get kind of skippy and patchy and weird, but it's not. My face, I mean, it feels like I set it with powder. I don't see it really transferring too bad when I touch it. Obviously, I need to not be touching it a bunch because that's like a surefire way to get your makeup to come off. But yeah, I figure I'm going to go ahead and go about my day. I'm headed over to my parents' house right now to watch the football game. It is the first game of the season. Not that I'm a huge Husker football fan, but it's the first game, so I might as well watch it, I guess, you know? But yeah, and I will do a check-in later on tonight and show you guys kind of how everything wore throughout the day and give you guys my final thoughts on the product. And obviously this is first impressions. I'm sure that I'll be setting it with powder at some point to see how that works and trying it with primer and see how that works. But for today, this is what we got. And that's all right. So yeah, I will be back in just a little bit. Okay, so I am doing my check-in. It is like 7:30 right now. I put the foundation on around 10:15 this morning, so that's roughly 9 hours, give or take. It was probably closer to 10:30 once I was actually putting the foundation on, so we'll call it 9 hours. This is not a long-wear foundation. You guys can't probably really tell on camera, but it's broken up around my nose pretty bad. It's separated here. It's worn off of my chin. I think I am going to try it tomorrow with a setting powder. I didn't use a primer. I didn't use setting powder or setting spray today. So I noticed right around the 5-hour mark that it was breaking up quite a bit. And granted, I didn't just sit at home and not do anything today. I wrestled with my son, so that might be why some of it was worn off. And I did a little bit of yard work, nothing crazy. So there was some sweating going on. So that could have explained some of it. But it's definitely one that I need to play around with more. If you do anything physical, it's not going to be a long-lasting foundation. So maybe consider that if you were hoping that it would be. But yeah, that's it for the check-in. Okay, I'll see you guys in the rest of the video. Okay, you guys, so it has been about a month since I filmed my initial wear test, and I wanted to hold off on posting that so that I could have some time to play with the product and kind of get to know it a little bit better. what I want to say about it is it definitely doesn't last very long. In that video, I did what it said. You know, the claims were that you don't have to use a primer, you don't have to use setting powder or setting spray, and it's going to last all day. At least if I'm recalling correctly, that is the claim that they made. The piece that I'm not sure if I'm completely correct on is the all day part, but I'm pretty sure it said all day wear. So that is not true. I have normal skin. I don't have oily skin. I don't really have dry skin. In the winter, it may lean a little more dry, but overall it's pretty normal. And this lasted, when I did it that method, it lasted maybe 4 hours. It really started to break up on my nose and on my, the center of your face is going to be more oily, even in normal skin people. So any oil, and it was breaking up. So since then, I have used this with a primer and with a setting powder. This is one thing to note is that it is a water-based foundation. So if you're going to use a primer, do not use a silicone primer because then you're really going to have problems. I did make that mistake. I used this with my Touch and Soul no Porblum primer. That one's hard to say. And it broke apart. It looked awful because that's a silicone-based primer and this is a water-based foundation. Those they don't mix. But I switched that out for a water-based primer. Such a rookie mistake. But so I switched it out for a water-based primer, and then I saw that I was getting like 5.5 to 6 hours of wear. So it's better with setting it really well with powder. No, I didn't try this with I didn't use Urban Decay All-Nighter or anything like that. I just used my normal setting spray. Which is more like a complexion mist. It's not really a setting spray. So compared to other foundations that I have, this does not last very well at all. I have some that I use the same primer, same powder, and it will last for 12 plus hours. So this one is just not, if you're looking for longevity, this one is not going to do it for you. As far as finish is concerned, I think it's a nice finish. It's definitely not the most luminous finish foundation that I have ever used. And in fact, I have a cheaper alternative that I'm going to share with you guys. And it's not really a dupe, but it's a luminous finish foundation that is affordable. You can get it at the drugstore. I did a wear test where I used the ABH foundation on one side and I used this other one on the other side, and they wore the same amount of time. And that is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion foundation. So this retails for $12 to $15. I don't know exactly. I can't remember. If you guys hear kids screaming in the background, it's my child and his friends. They're over at the neighbor's house just having a great time playing Knights and Castles or something. Yeah, okay. I was just making sure that they weren't actually killing each other. They're fine. Those are happy yells. So anyways, this is also a luminous finish foundation. This is actually more luminous a little bit. It doesn't make me look greasy. It just makes me look really healthy. So anyways, it's more luminous than the ABH foundation is and wears about the same. It's cheaper. I would recommend this over this. If I still had my receipt, I'd be returning this. But I don't, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. The other thing that I wasn't crazy about with this was the how warm the undertone was, because I chose what should be a neutral shade, and it is not. It is 100% a warm undertone foundation. So that was a little bit of a bummer. I feel like some brands really struggle with getting neutrals and cool undertones right. I don't understand why that is, but it is. I don't know if it's easier to create warm undertoned products. I don't know. So yeah, it just isn't necessarily the best foundation that I've ever used. Bottom line is I don't think it's worth $38, $39, whatever it is, $40 after tax. So for that reason, I'm not going to spend the money on it. If I can get a foundation that performs right about the same for 12 to 15, I'm going to go with that one. Cool. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I wish that I had better things to report on this one. I don't though, and that's okay. You know, and the thing is, maybe it would work fine for you. I don't know what skin types it's going to work well with. I cannot imagine if you have oily skin that this is going to work okay. Dry skin, maybe it's going to be great. If you have like very little oil coming through, you might be fine. So bottom line, I think that you can save money by going with something like the Flower Beauty Foundation instead. I love saving money. I think most people love saving money. And, you know, if I can save you some money by recommending something different, then that's awesome. So at any rate, that's going to do it for today's foundation review video. And thank you so much for watching. I will definitely see you in my next one. Take care. Bye.